Warning, this video may contain spoilers for the TV show or movie that we discuss in this video. If you have not yet watched the TV show or movie that this video is about, please come back to the video at a later time after you have watched the content that was discussed. You have been warned.
Rising with each beat of the music is bringing real flames in the fire that keeps burning. We're invited. Tactical nuke incoming!
How's it going, everybody? This is Rob Novakast back with another video for you guys, or at least a quick review. And oh my gosh, this one is a gem. This takes me back to my childhood to some extent. I don't know. I'm gonna say I don't know how when I was a kid got a hold of this. I guess my parents thought, you know, oh, it's a nice superhero movie. You'll love superhero movie. Oh no, I think that the whole, just all of that just blew out the window when you get to the take the fucking elephant bit from this movie. But anyways, we're talking about Darkman, and I'm gonna just say this movie, I'm not gonna lie, it oozes Tim Burton, but it's directed by Sam Raimi. I'm not, like, looking at this, I'm just like, what the... And by the way, I think to some extent we have to blame, like, no joke, we have to blame the campiness from Spider-Man because of this movie. This movie is so freaking weird when it comes to it, how it presents certain things. Like, really, really, really fucking weird. But anyways, it's directed by Sam Raimi, written by Sam Raimi, Chuck Purfer, hopefully I said that name correctly, and it stars Liam Neeson, Francis McDonald, Dornold, hopefully I said that name correctly, Colin Farrell, and many others. The main premise is you have a brilliant scientist who's trying to create synthetic skin, has his lab and his partner completely, destroyed. I mean, lab's destroyed. His partner gets shot, and Liam Neeson, who plays the scientist, is brutally disfigured by the events of a mobster, just trashing and destroying his laboratory. Fueled by revenge, as well as, at this point, not feeling any pain due to some experimental treatment that was going to help him recover, he decides to take revenge on the mobsters that tried to kill him and try to get back with the woman that he loves. That is the main premise of the film, and I'm just gonna say it's an interesting concept, as well as how it's presented. Again, how it's presented is so fucking great. It is like the old school, like, typical comic book movie. And again, this movie, like, with some of the visuals, you'd think, looking at it, you'd think this would be a Tim Burton film. Like, no joke. But no, it's not a Tim Burton film. It's a freaking Sam Raimi film. And again, just to repeat my previous statement, we can kind of see where the inspiration for Spider-Man came from when it comes down to how it was presented. Because this is interesting. Liam Neeson playing as the scientist, and, since we're going to talk about characters now, Liam Neeson playing as the Darkman was really interesting. I think, strangely enough, I think probably his most entertaining bits would have to be when he's full-blown Darkman, as well as some of his freakouts. I think that was probably I would say probably one of my, some of my favorite moments with Darkman. My favorite bit has to be, I mean there's two bits that I actually like. One is when they're in the carnival, and two is, no joke, when he starts having a mental breakdown and he's repeating. He has a little funnel on top of his head, and he's like, See the dancing freak? Only $5. I think that was what the line was, but it was like, see the dancing freak, see the dancing freak. And it was entertaining. Like, Liam Neeson, like, we see, like, in current day, especially with Liam Neeson, we see him in a lot of more, I guess, more, I don't want to say mature, but I guess level-headed roles. And to see him as it was entertaining. It really was. As some of the other characters, we got this mobster character who is it's an over-the-top mobster boss character, who, like, smokes cigars and freaking takes the fingers of the people that wrong him. It was dumb. And I think it's implied that he died, but I think he shows up in a later film. I don't know. But either way, it's weird. The love interest was interesting, only for the few bits. There was an odd scene with this person, which I gotta mention, where after Liam Neeson or at least Liam Neeson's character is, no joke, and I know it's supposed to be serious, but, like, hilariously is yeeted from the fiery explosion of his lab and into the lake. We see, like, this transition. Like, it's an odd freaking transition of the female lead standing there in, like, complete horror of what just happened, and then transitioning to her in a cemetery with different clothes to mourn the death of her boyfriend, the scientist. Speaking of that scene, let's quickly talk about visuals, because, by the way, this movie came out around 1990, which is a year after the first Batman film. And in case people, there's a reason why I bring that up, but I'm going to say the visuals, especially I want to say for the freakouts, were really interesting. Especially when it comes down to the Doctor or the Darkman. Kind of, every time he starts to have, like, an outburst, it's, like, very visual. We get to see how chaotic it is inside his head. I mean, I will say there was one point in particular that I felt I couldn't tell whether or not it was actually in his head for a brief second or actually, in real life. And this is the aforementioned, take the fucking elephant bit, where they're at the carnival and he kind of pushed to his breaking point, and we have a quick snippet of him like what's inside his head, and it ends with him literally twisting the dude's fingers back, him yelling, the girlfriend yelling, the guy yelling, and to an extent, I'm kind of wondering if this was just all in his head, but it like, with the way it's transitioned, it's like, oh no, apparently no, that did actually happen. It wasn't in his head where he was, like, thinking about doing it. He actually did it. The idea, with concepts and ideas and visuals, the idea, I don't know if this was based on a comic book, but the idea of, like, this character using synthetic skin to not just mimic their faces, but also trying to mimic their voices and how they talk, was actually a really cool idea for a superhero. Especially with somebody who could basically, if you don't know who he is and what he can do and what he's capable of, you would immediately just assume, okay, this could happen to anybody, I guess. But it was interesting. I want to say my favorite bit, especially when it comes down to Darkman pretending to be, well, other people, was the moment where one of the goons gets shot by another goon. I think his name was Smiley. And there's this creepy, like, really, really fucking creepy moment where the goon, Smiley, realizes that he shot his buddy, and Darkman, dressed up as Smiley, just walks in, and you see this like ear to ear grin on this guy's face, or the Darkman playing as this guy, and he just stares at the dead body, stares at him, and stares at the dead body. I thought it was great, and then he starts beating him down. They're like, "You've been a bad boy." Oh gosh, that was so fun. Now, going on to it, or going further. Quickly talk about music. Now, there was a reason why I mentioned, that Batman came a year before, at least, the original Tim Burton Batman came out a year before this. That's because both were composed by Danny Elfman. And I'm not gonna lie, like I hate to be that guy, and I love some of Danny Elfman's music, but good God, both themes for, at least like when it comes down to the music and style, they are both so similar to each other. It is ridiculous. And we'll say to an extent, it kind of distracted me. So, all in all, it was just way too similar, and I felt like there could have been something different, at least, but that might just be Danny Elfman's style. I don't know. But either way, I will say I wasn't a fan of the music, especially with how similar. Sometimes I was thinking, oh wait, am I watching Batman? Oh wait, no, it's Darkman. Not saying that's a bad thing, it's just whatever. So, to kind of summarize, because I'm going to say this. As much as, to an extent, I mean, especially with the music, I have my low points. This is actually a gem, okay? This is actually a really fun movie to watch, and I ask you guys to go check it out. So, with that, I think I'm going to give it, like, for my rating anyway, give it a... Fuck it, let's give it a 8. Yeah, that's actually good. 8 out of 10. Some of the characters were fun and entertaining, though over the top. Visuals were interesting, especially for back in the day. Some of the concepts and ideas for this film were interesting. The characters, again, interesting. However, music kind of docks down the points a little bit, with it being so similar to Batman. But whatever. Anyway, that's it. That's my review for the Darkman. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you have any thoughts or anything to add, leave in the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, links are in the description down below, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Novakast signing off. Have a good one, and take care. Peace.